22. Traumatic Resurrection. By Nathan Hine. Chapter 1. Two figures are standing on opposite sides of a dark room. A spotlight booms to life as a red glow beams down, filling the center of the room. The two figures move toward each other, revealing their features as they leave the dark into the light. One is a woman with dark hair, full red lips, and the greenest eyes there could be. She is wearing a spaghetti-strap dress, as red as the lipstick on her lips. It fell knee-length on the right side and rode up at a 45-degree angle to the middle of her left thigh, where a pair of black stockings touched the dress, which led down her sexy legs to red high heels. The other figure is a man. He has a crew cut, but the red color could be made out from the hair stubble on his head. Under that is a pair of wire-rimmed glasses that sat in front of blue, lively eyes gleaming at the woman and her eyes toward him as they approached one another. Under that is a smooth-shaved face. He is wearing a set of Class A Army green uniform for formal events. He has all of his various ribbons and medals on the jacket. She didn't know what they all meant, but the one thing displayed on the jacket she cared about was the name tag, which sat centered above the right button on the breast pocket flap. The name is boldly and proudly displayed on a black background, spelling out, in white lettering, Noble. It isn't so much the name tag, but the name, the man with the name she had fallen in love with. She couldn't lie about it even if she tried, because her eyes would give her away with the gleam she had in them at that moment, as she could see the same in his eyes. They came together, standing a couple feet apart, as he reaches over and gently takes her right hand in his left and extends both their arms out in unison. As he does this, he slips the other arm around her waist, and she places her other hand on his shoulder. "Honey, I'm home," he mouths. She smiles, holding in her laughter. It started as a joke he had said at random one day, and now she just loves hearing those words come from his mouth. They stood in the waltz position for a few seconds, and then Careless Whisper by George Michael started to play through the dark toward them. They felt the rhythm of the saxophone as they started to move to the music, waltzing around the dance floor under the red light. It didn't seem to matter where they moved, as the light just followed them around, keeping them centered. They are blended together, gliding along in perfect sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is effortless for them. The woman felt completely in bliss. An overwhelming sense of joy and carefreeness is in her. She just wants to stay in his arms and dance along with him forever, to never let go. Everything is perfect until the song reaches the 3-minute and 8-second mark when George sings out, "Please stay." Those words came through the dark like bullets hitting her hard as he released his grip on her, and she fell to the floor with a thud. The fall shook her up, but she recovered quickly enough to see him snap to a military attention stance and march toward the dark to the perimeter of the light. As he reaches the edge, touching the darkness, he performs an about-face and is facing her again. She tried to stand and run to him, but she is now shackled to the floor. Her arms and legs were bound by chains, and she couldn't move. She tried to cry out to him, but no sound would come out. She could only stay there and watch as he pulled a handgun from a pistol holster on his right hip. That was not there before when they were entwined and danced together. It just manifested out of nowhere. She wants to close her eyes, but they will not shut. She is being forced to witness the events that are about to occur. The man raised the gun with his right hand to his head. He stood with the gun next to his head, like an enlisted soldier would salute in. "Officer," with the barrel at his temple. Tears welled up in her eyes as he slid the safety off and squeezed the trigger. She heard a bang as his head jerked to the side. His body went limp, and the gun fell to the floor. The man stays suspended upright for a few moments before falling backward and landing into a casket that is sitting behind him on the floor, materializing out of nowhere as the gun did. The casket rolls forward to the front of her, and she can see his body as the lid slams shut. The floor opens up, and the casket lowers into it. The casket reaches 6 feet down, and the hole fills up with dirt. After the hole was filled, a tombstone rose from the dirt. The dirt continues to spread outward across the whole dance floor. A bolt of lightning struck the tombstone and inscribed lettering into it. As the letters smolder, they become clear, which read SPC Henry Noble. The woman is freed from her shackles. She stands up, and her red dress is gone, replaced by a black full-sleeved, ankle-length dress with a pair of black pumps and a black veil over her face. She is standing in a graveyard now. the result of the spreading dirt and tombstones popping up like flowers in spring. She feels the wetness of her tears as they roll down her face, another wetness as drizzle comes down from the sky, and a rumbling of thunder as a storm approaches. Chapter 2. The woman wakes up in a large, king-sized bed on the left-hand side, with it being all sorts of a mess, which can be expected when you have recurring night terrors that seem to have a never-ending supply that just keeps coming. It is as if there is a factory somewhere just producing these things on a long assembly line. It starts with some sort of traumatic incident that gets imprinted in your brain. Then some little miners go in there at night while you sleep, locate it, extract it, box it up, and ship it off to some factory. At the factory, they pull it out and examine it, study it, figure out a way to enlarge it, and grant it the power to mutate like a virus can. After they finish with it and get it just right, they box it back up and ship it back to your head, where they insert it back into your subconscious mind. But now it's stronger and can evolve to any defenses you put in place. It just sits there waiting to pounce, like a predatory animal, to attack its prey. Its prey is your normality, your happiness, and your very existence. To take your everyday peace and rip it apart so you're an empty shell. After that, it attaches bag after bag of heavy rocks to you, day after day. So your mundane struggles are now catastrophic to the point where you can't walk, move, or even breathe without an ungodly amount of weight being pressed down on you. It does this until you wave the white flag and collapse, where you just wither away and die. However, on the right side of the mattress, it is a complete contradiction to her side, which is made up perfectly. That side looks as if no one has touched it in quite some time. There is a memorial pamphlet, which is passed out at funerals, with a picture of the man from the dream, Henry Noble, up near a pillow at the head of the bed. She just lay there, staring at the picture as it began to blur from her tears. She softly whispers to the photo, "Why did you leave me?" Her lip began to quiver, which started a chain reaction throughout her body as she began to shake uncontrollably from her anguish. Her blurred vision from her trickle of tears turned into a flood of water coming from her green eyes. Past the waterfall is a room clouded in darkness. It's been this way for as long as the bed has been made up on the right side. There is the occasional beam of light from the hallway when someone checks on her, or they turn on a light in the room, which she preferred they didn't, but she makes little effort or reaction to their presence or actions. What do they expect of me? How am I supposed to react when my whole world, or at least the best part of it, is taken from me? Excuse me for not wanting to get up, put on a happy face, and put on a performance for everyone. I'm not an actress. I don't need an Oscar, an Emmy, a Golden Globe, or whatever other awards actresses get. I need him. I need my love. She thinks sadly, with anger mixed in. Sadness and anger, a perfect recipe for grief that made just right, can only become an entree for tragedy. An entree that has been served to plenty of customers throughout time. A recipe that has been passed from one person to another as loosely and freely as any meal made on the Food Network, which is a television channel that, as the name says, deals with nothing but food, recipes, meals, and all the cooking, baking, frying, boiling, chopping, mincing, slicing, and everything else that could be done in the kitchen. Among the darkness, there is a mini bar in a corner that has most of the booze drank up, with empty bottles scattered over it. On the bar, there is a single shot glass with a partial cigarette inside of it. It was the last cigarette he smoked at her place. There is a metal folding chair with a black trench coat hanging over the back, sitting about 20 feet away from the bed. The trench coat was his, and the chair still sits in the same place where he sat in it last. She looked toward the chair and contemplated regretfully. The coat was his, but not anymore. It's mine now, I guess, with the old saying, possession is 9/10 of the law. But the object without the person seems like an empty gesture, a hope that won't come true, a wish that fell on an empty star. She would give up the memorial piece for the reality of the actual. This is all that is left, and as much as it causes the pain of hardship and loss, it also contains the ecstasy of joy. All those moments of love, laughter, and happiness. She doesn't want to lose those, so that is why she chooses to keep this reminder, even with all its baggage. Why couldn't you have just stayed? Why did I let you leave that night? Why didn't I hold you tighter? Why did you have to go away? Didn't you know I loved you? No, I know you did. I could feel you did, just as I felt it from you. So why did you leave me? Am I so broken that no one can ever love me? Why doesn't anyone want to stay? Am I that much of a lost cause? Am I that unlovable? No, one person did love me. They were just broken, like I am broken. The same, but different. Still broken. I just hoped our broken pieces could fit together to make an imperfectly perfect puzzle. I know he loved me from the first night we met in that imperfectly perfect, broken moment. This is just the first of our imperfectly perfect moments. All the way up to the last night we spent together. If I knew it would be the last, I would have held you tighter. Breathed in that moment more. Made it last longer. Our last moment. Her thought trails off after that as she shifts her eyes back on the picture, and the tears increase again.